Okay. Oh, you guys hear it in my voice. You can see it in my face, not because I'm pale white, but because I am energized. I have kicked COVID's ass quicker than Dad kicked Matt Watson's at Creator Clash. And by the way, no disrespect to Matt or anybody else. It was just 22 seconds. That's usually reserved for me in the bedroom. Anyway, speaking of Creator Clash, I didn't get to break down the main event. So we're going to do that today. And of course, yes, I was on commentary for that fight, so I've seen it, but I had some more takeaways that you just can't see on first watch. So why and how did Dr. Mike beat IDubbbz? Was it because he was bigger, stronger, faster? Was it because he was the better boxer? Or was it something else? The breakdown, let's go. So we had Dr. Mike walking out first. Why is Mike just standing in that curtain? Oh, I remember Mike for his walkout song. I don't know the name of it, but it's the one that's like, I'm on top of the world. I'm on top of the world. Yeah. And then it goes, boom, ba, ba, ba. And he was waiting for that beat to drop. But I didn't see this on commentary. I wasn't looking at the screen, obviously. But he's like standing in this curtain like he's in timeout. Then we had IDubbbz. I mean, that snakeskin black robe looking like he's straight out of Slytherin house, the eagle on the chest tattoo. This is the most interesting man in the world. I don't know how to pinpoint Ian. He's the fucking man, though. Oh, yes. Folks, this right here was a moment in time you'll never forget. Airsoft Fatty sang the national anthem not once, not twice, but 3 times. Look at that, man. Come on. Like, unintentionally, one of the greatest moments that's ever happened in YouTube boxing. Amazing. All right, so here we go right away, round 1. Now, right here, Ian comes out with a shot that could have changed the fight. And this is what I thought Ian could have gotten back to more. And it was open a lot. Mike was popping his jab out, right? You would see him pop the jab out, boom, and Ian would come underneath it. But here's the problem. Mike would drop. That chin is open season, and Ian comes out with the first big shot of the night, just barely misses it. And that one, while Ian was fresh, could have made a big difference. That's a nice jab from Ian. It stings Mike. Now watch how Mike reacts, though, to the way Ian hits him, or when Ian hits him. Watch the reactions, how different they are, right? He gets tagged here with a pretty nice jab, but immediately he's back. And immediately on the front foot, on the front foot, on the front foot, walking IDubbbz down. This is one of the big keys to the fight. Mike continued to walk IDubbbz down.
I feel like Dr. Mike is going to be dangerous early. I feel like as the fight goes on, it might lean towards IDubbbz.
The crowd is chanting, twist his d***, and this became a theme all night. I think this happened like 3 or 4 times during the card. Out of nowhere, we would get a twist his d*** chant, and I think one of them was even in the Minx and Haley fight, so I don't know how that works, but again, another nice combination here from IDubbbz. To start this round, IDubbbz has landed not only more of the shots, but more of the meaningful shots. But you see the difference, and that's what I was talking about a second ago. For everything that IDubbbz has landed, right, it hasn't really gotten the attention of Dr. Mike, right? He's hit him. Mike's felt it probably, but watch this right hand from Dr. Mike. Yoom, right? And IDubbbz feels that immediately. The difference in those lands. That was what we saw from Dr. Mike. Another one right behind the ear again. And this is where Ian would get into kind of no man's land, right? If we were in the clinch, we were good, right? We were both clinching, cool. But once they separated, Dr. Mike was looking to swing. Whereas Ian was kind of caught in the middle, right? Trying to get those bearings, reset his stance. He would get clipped with stuff like that, and it happened a good amount of times. Now, because of those 2 big right hands that have already landed, IDubbbz is like, let's kind of reset here, keep our distance. But now Mike's coming in, double jab. Nothing to get Mike's respect, so he's going to throw a haymaker. Boom! And again, Mike comes off the ground throwing this, like a baseball pitch almost. And that was just the big difference in this fight, was the lack of respect Dr. Mike had for Ian and how much power he had. Like that right there, and woo-wee! And you guys can't see this, by the way, but this says 1 minute and 21 seconds left in round 1. We're going to talk about what happened there in a second, but it was actually just 21 seconds left. If this actually was 1 minute and 21 seconds left in this first round, Dr. Mike would have at least got a standing 8 count here out of IDubbbz. I don't know if you would have knocked him down or if it would have just been something where the referee just came in and gave the standing 8, but Ian was in trouble after this shot. And you can hear me here. Listen in on me right here.
I thought we were going for 3. I guess we're going for 2. That's right. We still had, yeah, I don't know.
So you hear me say right there, I thought we were going for 3. I guess we're going for 2. Originally, this was supposed to be 4 rounds, 3 minutes each, and I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm assuming the commission came in and was like, listen, we're just going to stick with the 5 2-minute rounds that every other fight had before you. No one told us. No one told IDubbbz. No one told Dr. Mike. No one told anyone, and I'm pretty sure they did it during the fight. Like, I don't know how else that could have happened. But as far as the round itself, who actually won, I'm gonna go Dr. Mike because, like I said, IDubbbz did land volume early. I thought Dr. Mike landed more significantly and did put Ian in far worse trouble than Ian put Dr. Mike in at any point in that first round. I'm leaning Dr. Mike, 1-0 to him, round 2. Now, this was the second time this happened, and they didn't get a good angle of it, but Doc touches the gloves here, right? And as soon as he touches them, Ian's not quite ready. Doc throws the jab, lands it, and barely misses with that right hand. If he lands that right hand right there, folks, Ian's probably on the ground. Talking to Doc, he doesn't seem like a guy that was trying to get a cheap one out of Ian and just be like, oh, nice fake touch and then come in. I don't think that was it. I think he just got a little overexcited. It is protect yourself at all times, and I know that, but I don't think Doc was trying to pull a dirty move there. It came off that way because of how quickly he fired right after that. Now look at this. Ian lands a big right hand right here. They both go jab right hand. Ian just gets his head off the center line quicker. Boom. Flush on Dr. Mike. And he just could not get the attention of Doc to keep him off him because look, again, Mike on the front foot once again. We talk about this all the time, but this is something Mike can improve on, and I'm sure he'll be looking at this film and saying the same thing. Now he has Ian on the ropes here, right? All Mike needs to do is make a triangle here for himself. One angle this way, one angle this way, and make Ian either go back into this corner or go into this one over here, right? He skates out, and Mike, instead of cutting this ring off, instead he kind of chases him and lets IDubbbz get out of what could have been just him in the corner and Mike teeing off. Definitely something he can work on. But look at these shots to the body here from IDubbbz. These are scoring shots, right? Boom, right hand to the body. Boom, another one to the body. Right on the belt line. Boom, another one to the body. Digging, digging. Those are 5 or 6 shots there that kind of go unnoticed when you're watching, and Mike's just walking through them, right? In his mind and probably his team's mind, they were like, you can walk through those shots and impose your will, and that's what obviously the game plan was. So round 2, it's tough because Ian absolutely outvolumed Mike in round 2. Like, absolutely did. No question about it. But the big shots, the meaningful shots, the significant strikes are always going to Dr. Mike. And so even if Ian is landing more, Dr. Mike is landing more effectively. He is doing the damage. He is winning the fight. The way I'm watching this, Dr. Mike is hurting Ian more, and he's putting him in danger more. Round 2 to Dr. Mike as well. Close, though. Really close. All right, round 3. Boom, big hook, big right hand. Mike, again, just clubbing blows. These aren't even necessarily technical shots for Mike. But he was just, again, trying to impose his will. IDubbbz comes back, and this is one of his better right hands. Boom. Again, Mike trying to throw from his hip. Both hands here by his waist, and he knows he wants to get straight back out of range, but IDubbbz catches him. Right behind the ear there. It's a nice, clean shot.
Yes. And this is what we're seeing. Oh.
Nice uppercut, man. I'm stopping on like every exchange, but Ian thinks he has another big right hand behind, but Mike, instead of leaning in and giving him that lane to throw the right hand over the top, boom, throws the uppercut.
Big right hand to IDubbbz. That one lands flush. But Dr. Mike continues to.
This is Ian's best round, no doubt about it. A lot of clinching here. Both guys were tired at this point, I remember. Very tired.
Last 10 seconds. Last 10 seconds. No, he thought there was
Oh, they thought that was the end of the round there. Ian said it was last 10 seconds. Ian's like, this, I'm done. What do you mean? He's like, oh, shit. Okay, come on. I love it, man. Ian was so game. He was so game. And Doc goes back to the big hooks. Again, the way that Doc ends the round there, solid, but I got to tell you, that was a good round for Ian. No doubt about it. I thought IDubbbz did far more work in this round. He was on the front foot pressing Dr. Mike, I think, for the first time in the fight, but he landed with a little bit more force here. There was a right hand early on in the round that made Dr. Mike take a couple of steps back and reset. He landed another right hand later on in the round that again got his attention, and Mike did get some shots off, and he landed big time, especially there toward the end. And when he does land, like I said, it's devastating, but that is IDubbbz round pretty clearly to me. Let's go to the 4th. Oh, man. Jesus. Mike catches Ian with this right hand. Momentum meets momentum, right? Jab. Ian is trying to slip inside this jab again, and this is what we talked about, what he was probably trying to avoid earlier. Boom, slips right into this big right hand. Woo! And you see IDubbbz trying to do the same thing he did last round, right? Really come forward and try to make Mike uncomfortable, make him fight off the back foot. But as he's doing that, he's eating shots, right? Boom, uppercut, eats that one. Boom, right hand, eats that one. Mike doing a pretty decent job of fighting off the back foot here. Walking forward, a couple shots to the body there. Now Mike's coming back, big time shots. Oh, this is one of Mike's better combinations. Mike threw a lot of boom, boom, right? Or boom, boom, boom. He didn't throw a ton of like 4, 5, 6, 7 punch combos, but he does right here. It's probably one of the better ones of the fight. Boom, right hand sends IDubbbz flying once again. Boom, double jab. Jab, right hand. Catches it mostly on the gloves, but he's walking forward. Now he's pushing IDubbbz back. Jab. Boom, big right hook. That lands. Big right hand over the top again. Just clubbing shots. That was probably the best combination he threw, at least in this 4th round, to my knowledge, of the fight. Nice jab there from IDubbbz. Look at the heart, man. He's been, I mean, as far as the power shots have been concerned and the devastating blows here, he's been getting beat up for the better part of 4 rounds, but he has been not only sticking in there, but continuing to come back, continuing to fire off shots, having volume, sticking right in the pocket with Dr. Mike. Jab, right hand at the end of the round. He was ending rounds just really, really well. I think Dr. Mike thought the fight was over right here, by the way, and Ian might have too. I think both guys might have thought, because again, we were scheduled to go 4 3-minute rounds. I think both guys thought, oh shit, the fight's over. It wasn't over. They had one more round. Listen, round 4 for me goes to Mike. Ian tried to implement a lot of the same things he did in round 3. The problem was Mike wasn't letting him walk him around the ring this time. He was planting a foot in the ground and giving him some of his own medicine back. Big hooks, even again without the greatest technique, he was still boom, boom, and they were devastating. Mike has power. You got to give it up to Ian for not only taking those shots, continuing to try to implement his game plan, which was pretty clearly volume, punches in bunches, try to wear Mike out. Just didn't work out because Mike was able to come back and have a better round. I'm going to go Mike with round 4 as well. Now let's go to the 5th and final round. Here we go, 5th and final. If I remember correctly, the 5th round was a little bit more of a back and forth. And you see Ian dropping some right hands to start. Mike comes back with his own. And you can hear Sensei, oh, that's a nice right hand from Ian, and a jab behind it. Sensei continued to say, IDubbbz has got to get under that right hand, got to get under that right hand. And what he means is what we saw, I think it was in round 3 or 4, we saw Ian start to roll under shots, and he was starting to slide in and out of range and use that head movement to try to get under and then throw his combinations. Whatever it was that Dr. Mike was throwing, Ian couldn't get under it or couldn't get out of the way of it. That's kind of what Sensei was trying to refer to. And look at Ian's face right here, like a fucking zombie. Look at that, man. Just wearing every bit of this fight. For a guy to come up 40 pounds, do what he did, like, all respect has to go to IDubbbz for this. And I think in those little exchanges where Mike would just touch, boom, boom, is where he wins this round too, in my opinion, because they were trading, right? IDubbbz jab, Mike right hand. IDubbbz right hand to the body, Mike uppercut, like back and forth. They both trade right hooks right here. But again, Ian is the one that takes the brunt of that shot more so than Mike does. 1-2 from Mike. Again, catches Ian. So that was, it was close here in this 5th round, but that's where you saw, I thought, Mike win the round. IDubbbz did have a nice finish to round 5 for sure. That was a nice right hand from Mike. Nice right hand. IDubbbz, though, down to the wire there. Oh, and he got a couple after the bell. Hey, man. What a fucking fight. That was an awesome round. Back and forth the whole time. Let's talk about it. All right, so listen, 5th and final round, tough to call. It's a back and forth. IDubbbz landed some shots here that he wasn't able to connect with as much power early in the fight because Mike was fresh. He was ready to go. He was ready to eat those shots and continue moving forward. Now, Dr. Mike wasn't wobbled or he wasn't hurt. He wasn't in any real trouble. He was tired because Ian was working his body consistently throughout the early part of the fight, even all the way up until the end. With that being said, yeah, the 5th round was close. Still probably going to lean to Dr. Mike. I have Mike winning 4-1. I can see an argument for 3-2, maybe, if you want to consider either the 2nd or the 5th to Ian, but I don't know if they're that close, so I'm sticking with 4-1 to Mike. He wins this fight, and that's just where we're going to leave it because I don't have any other words. This was a flat-out fucking banger. But was this the greatest YouTube boxing main event you've ever seen? I have my own thoughts. You guys can let me know down below. We have fights in July, 2 in August, and I'm sure a lot more down the road, so I guess we'll find out.